we've had one ending to TR-49. But what about the other endings? The one I've got first, I think that was basically the expected ending,
We'll
because
start
I've
with a
done what we
new
were told to
entry.
do, right?
Nice.
Prevent the
The new code is
NPs from ever being
AC85.
created by erasing the first trace path to get to it. Something else, I think it's an ending. I just didn't do it in that game because I was worried it was going to erase my whole save and then I wasn't able to continue, was when we go to Abbi's index, there is an option to stop the process, right? So we can completely stop what Abbi's doing instead of fixing the situation. So if we go in here and we say stop, deactivate Abbi software, all active associative detections will be lost. This time we're gonna go for do it, because now I know the game lets us return to just before we've done our final decision. The achievement I got for it is deleted world. So I basically...
It was the closing of the day. She loosed the chain, and down she lay. The broad stream bore her far away.
So I'm gonna presume this is just the Abbi gives up ending, right? She doesn't change anything. She's destroyed. The future is struck. So that's just definitely bad ending. And we're back to right before we've decided to do that. Now, I think any other endings that there might be would be related to basically erasing other things, right? Instead of releasing the source the game tells us to release, we can do another one. So I have a few things that I think might be interesting trying deleting. First of them is QM55. So this is one source that I found last time, and it's basically the design of the machine itself being fed into it, which causes it to have the ability to create revisions, as far as I understood, yes? This paper has the property, under the constant observation of the machine, of creating a DME effect that just holds in its own validation. It works because it works. So the fact that the machine is able to understand its own design means it can do the revisions, which means we can remove this ability from the world. So if we go to the wipe program again, and we try to remove QM55, what will that lead to, right? Because the whole concept of revisions will still exist, but they will only be very limited to the people who knew about it and the books they knew about it. The computer will not be able to do it anymore. So, do it.
I really hope this works. But then, I wonder if I'll even know.
Well, presumably, Abbi will not exist in that version. Yes, all our sources are getting deleted. I assume this time everything will go. Yeah, exactly. Nothing will exist. System down. The machine is gone. The future is trapped. So yes, again, because we're at the point where people are already able to use the NP's book to change time, and they've already been doing it, just the fact that we delete the machine doesn't solve that problem. It just removes the machine from the equation. So we've gotta rewind that. So other thoughts I had for wiping is potentially releasing the Bible. I'm not sure what exactly that may do, but the reason they included the Bible in this was as a sort of control point, right? Where they thought, oh, if anything should change here, they will know. So if it's not included, would that have affected anything about the world? So if we go and wipe GA00, do it. And where does that take us? Okay, the entry's been released, but there's not been an ending, right? Now that code just doesn't lead to anything. So seems like that is not an ending to the game. That's just a thing we can do. Now, we know there is a command for make, right? And it never worked in the sense of, oh, actually print something. But I wonder if it can be used to like undelete something. So if we go to make is GA00, Yes. Restore from
think
deep
that did
storage.
something.
Okay, so it's back here, but it's missing its title. It needs to be reassigned. Oh, but I lost all memory of it existing. Okay, so if we delete things that we're not supposed to delete, it gives us trouble. And we also have to actually go and refine the title as well.
Another title. The Bible. The Bible.
Well, if erasing the Bible is not the way to do it, then we also have this whole Xavier Youngman situation, right? Well, for the initial ending, it takes us to delete Dorothea's work because she was supposed to have started this whole revision thing. It actually tells us here, one of the oldest writers in the archive, Dorothea Pemberton's ideas started with Youngman's work, right? And especially like, there's only 2 of it, but XY55, his first book here, Matter in the Dark, while it says DME isn't mentioned, he suggests that he sees more on rereading his own text than was initially present, right? So this sort of suggests that this is the very first source of the idea of DMEs existing. So I wonder if basically we go all the way back to the start. The first time someone even thought of DMEs before Dorothea go into it, we delete that. And will that finally save the world? So here we go for XY55. Do it.
Oh, I really hope this works. But then, I wonder if I'll even know.
She hopes this will work. Again, all our sources disappearing. 12 are left. Presumably,
Abbi?
various things that are not related.
Abbi, can you hear me?
Cecil's back.
But of course you can't.
It's only a machine, Dad.
I know. When we built her, Bea and I, we thought she'd get clever enough to speak, but I'm a little too old for fairy stories, I suppose.
Yes, so this time while they built the machine,
It
they
did
didn't get
what
it
it was
to
meant
work.
to do in the war.
Well, that's that. No, I just wanted you to see it. Just the once.
It only did the normal code breaking, it didn't do reality breaking
Come on,
for
Alice.
them.
Let's go.
The web was woven curiously. The charm is broken utterly. Draw near and fear not. This is I.
And yet she's still reciting her poetry. Yes, I missed the opportunities to reply to them because I was yapping. So this time the trap is unsprung, the future is free, but I just want to check on that ending once again to see if I reply to them. Does anything different happen?
Abbi? Abbi, can you hear me? But of course you can't.
Okay, so pressing the speak button doesn't do anything.
The
so
web was woven curiously.
it's basically like, yep, she's never
The
learned it. I
charm
can't
is
like
broken utterly.
break out mid of it and be like,
Draw
hey,
near
actually,
and
I
fear
can't
not.
speak.
This is I.
Now, while this is, I think, all the endings, because people said there were 4, which would now align with the amount of endings we've got here, I think there is still a bit more to do. The main thing we know is the maze. It's still not done, if we can even do it, right? I don't know whether we can or whether it's just like a fun thing to play text adventure with. But a couple things I've seen in the credits. One is that when we finish, it shows us the TR-49 text, but then it morphs into another code. And in the first ending it was HQ53, but now in this other endings, it was ZA39. So I want to see if those codes go anywhere. So HQ53, nope. And then ZA39. Nope, I guess it was just random bits of corruption that they show you. So nothing special hidden there for an extra ending. I guess we can go back to the maze then. What is this place? How did you get here? A rabbit hole perhaps? Winding passages lead off in opposite directions. But which way should you go? Through an archway? Path? Or down a flight of stone step? Pass. So we've explored some of this before, but let's see what we can find. Let's go down the path that gets us to the fountain in the middle of the space. Opposite is a narrow gap in the stone wall. doors. A heavy door covered in carved symbols stands to the left. Trip. Help. On the center of the room is the Minotaur. Right, so here's where the Minotaur sees us, and then so far, anytime we tried to do anything, he got us and killed us. So, let's see. Can we go through the door? A round chamber with a dome ceiling. Light flies from some hidden opening. A heavy door stands on the right. Lost. A gloomy passageway leads away past. The Minotaur bellows from close at hand. It is coming for you. A heavy door stands to the right. Lost. And then the passageway. So, can we go to Lost? What's gonna happen? Walking in circles. Somehow the only door here leads back to here. Lost. Yeah, I think we've been through this path, right? Because it's just circling. Will you cry for help or turn back? The Minotaur rolls nearby. It is after you. Okay. I think I may have been here, but without the Minotaur chasing me, because I don't remember this. So yes, I can go to help, or I can continue being lost. Can I just run around in circles? No, you can't go to the same length, okay? What about help? From nowhere, a gigantic hand seems to grab you, pulling you through the walls themselves, before releasing you somewhere you've seen before. Maze! The Minotaur bellows in distant despair. It is lost. Okay, this is all new. How did I not somehow get into it the first time around? Okay, so we just go back to Maze, but the Minotaur is gone. A dim passageway running from an archway path towards some stairs. Pass, okay. Continue on the path again. Fountain plays in the middle of the space. Yes, can I check the fountain out now before dying? You peer over the fountain at your reflection. The girl in the water seems much, much older than you expect her to be. She is beautiful, kind, and clever too. In the depths of the water, something is glinting. It is AK-47. When you have finished admiring her soulful eyes, you might stand up once more and go to path. Well, what's AK-47 then? You reach in and snatch the key from the water. Time to find a door to unlock then. Oh, okay. It's a key. That's quite a stretch, right? Yes, 3 for E, sure. 7 for Y? I was like, cat? A cat? I'm not sure. Okay, so we have a key. We can go to path. So go to the door. This is the domed ceiling chamber. So we can go to the passageway. Maybe we should have gone to that trip door. The passage emerges into a pool of light from some unknown source. Stairs lead up to the maze. Okay, we've circled around. So yeah, we're back to the path and back to the fountains. What about this? Yeah, a heavy door covered in carved symbols stands to the left, but it says trip. Well, let's see. 2 identical wooden doors are in front of you. The left is doors. To the right is road. Well, we've been through the doors, right? What about road? You unlock the door with the key from the fountain and step through. Vibrant, damp green moss grows on the walls here. It gets thicker towards the end of the corridor. Oh, exit! Yay! A way out at the top of the stairs. AC-70. Is that a balloon? So that's actually always Alice Caulderly 70 note, so it leads us to extra stuff.
Alice, and everything you have been cooking. I hope you enjoyed my little present. I know I've often been lost in this place myself.
Okay, so that's, I guess, actually the end of the maze. So it wasn't even that complicated. I'm not sure how I missed that combination the first time around, unless it's some sort of thing that only happens if you've done sufficient progress. Probably not. I probably just didn't do the right combination. There's a balloon here in the shape of a 9. Finally, there is a podium on which there is a book. Okay, is Podi the code? Because it links to something, right? So it would be P-O, then 01. Your mother and I are so proud of you, Alice, and everything you are becoming. I hope you enjoy my little present. I know I won't get lost in the place myself. Oh yes, this is what he was saying before. You lean over the podium to look at the book. It is LC65, and a first edition, no less. And it's yours to maze whenever you want. Written on the flyleaf are the words, I love you, Moonbear. Moonbear, okay, what's LC65 then? Because it's leading us on a trail.
Will you walk a little faster? Said a whiting to a snail. There's a porpoise close behind us and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance. They are waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance?
It's Alice in Wonderland. A first edition of Alice in Wonderland. Fed in for you, Moonbear. Did you know we made you a card when you were first issued? The machine makes a birth index for all of its important contributors, though usually under their own names. Oh, interesting, because, I don't think I've seen a card for Alice, but there's still CC11 note to read. I hope nostalgia brings you here, little one. I have left you a message. A card for you. Let's hope you find it. I must not say more. Someone else might read this. I know how you dislike puzzles. I'm sorry. Okay, so there is a secret message under AL12. But haven't we been to AL12? That's her normal code for unlocking her notes, right? But yes, that would be her index card, potentially. Okay, no, AL12 goes to something we've already seen. One of the sorcerers, something I read that I didn't want to read. Yes, the power of revision only lasts as long as it's being read. And this is us finding out that Cecil has been poisoned by the same curse that Silverton used on Kendrick. But this still links to something, an unknown source. So that's interesting. What could this be? But also this isn't Alice's index
All right
card,
then.
because that wouldn't be her birth year. She was born somewhere mid-century. Because they got married in 58, so Alice must have been born afterwards, I presume. It was that kind of time. So that would be closer to her birth year. But yes, this is still telling me we're missing more notes from Beatrice. We're missing more notes from Cecil. He has open links, right? So I didn't cover everything. We're missing Silverton, but I'm not sure whether we're missing actual Silverton or is it the whole Isambard situation because he was writing under a pseudonym and we have to sort out those books. And I think those are the only ones that I haven't full on completed. There is another thing in the game, and it's that during the credits, there is a lot of people that have named as contributing writing. So I think each and one of those codes that are next to their names will actually work. But there's a lot. There's a lot of them. So I think this is just an extra thing to do after everything else. I would like to get to finish all of the missing links if possible first. So looking at Cecil's stuff. He has missing links, that's for sure. So in the original Cecil CC11 sort of log, it says Cecil Caulderly is the genius who began work on this machine in 1943, right? So potentially there is a note from him in 43 as well. So CC 43? Nope. Apparently no such thing. So we've got 49. Which is when he started working on it. Then the 10 years old machine, 59, and then 69 is the last one of the 10-year anniversary notes. Then by 77, he's dead, so there wouldn't be a 79, I'm pretty sure. Let's just confirm. Though I may have tried that again. But there is CC79.
The little one, that Henry is his father. It's better this way, I think.
Okay, so this is a note about Cecil, but it's not Cecil wrote it. Beatrice wrote this. My husband wrote a card like this every 10 years to celebrate this precious archive of his. He cannot do it today because he's lying in God's own archive under the ox eye daisies of Highgate Cemetery. It's his time at Bletchley that got him a plot. I'm sure he and Marks have been arguing this past 2 years. I know, dear, I have tagged this wrong, but then you wrote one for me, didn't you? For our issue. Okay, is that referring to their divorce or where she left him? We'll have to check. Dear Heart Alice has expressed an interest in taking over. I will try to dissuade her. It is a waste of a life. She is only 18. She still listens to me. Okay, well, we now know when Alice was born exactly then. Because this is written in 79 and she's 18. So she would have been born in 1961. We're gonna try it in a bit. She still listens to me for the moment. My darling Cecil, rest in peace. For all your demons, you were a good man to me. But I hope you knew why I had to leave. I will read through these cards to hear your voice one last time before I go. CC76 last. Okay, so there's a CC76. And then once I have gone, I will never come back. And I hope time buries this terrible place in dust and rubble. I mean, I think she got her wish because yes, this place was pretty buried. So there's CC76, but let's try AZ61. Because that should be... No, not AZ61. AL61, but AZ61 got me to some sort of book, The Distracting Truth, Andrea Zuli. Time passes, and as a result, the unfair is demanded of the struggling. You are shaken to your core by the most powerful forces you can even imagine. And outside, things have nerve to simply keep existing, as if nothing has changed at all. As William Finnegan so perfectly put it, you have to hate how the world goes on. Barbaric. I was thinking of IA-37 throughout. Okay, so that now leads us down a path. IA-37 is one of the Rampage books. Yes, I've accidentally stumbled on a new trial. We're gonna go back to Alice's birth year in a second. And then there was another code on that page when I was talking about it, so we'll have to go back there as well. The eponymous midpoint of the series. In this one, a civilization of robots is discovered who turn their attentions upon Earth. Arthur must now fight a war on two fronts. Meanwhile, Lady Genevieve transformation into an insectoid creature is nearly complete and will have significant ramification 2 years later in Azimuth Ascending. Okay, so we know that AI-39 is going to be Azimuth Ascending. It is increasingly manning to read. Interestingly, there's a reference in there to a powerful spell called Silverton's Curse. I think Arklovich might have known Joshua Silverton. I wonder if they met during the period in which the book was written. Well, they didn't have to meet because they were the same person. And yes, the curse is what I assume that letter was he wrote to Henrik. Okay, so this reads to IA-39, which we already have. And actually, we have it titled, so useless. Let's go back. Okay, so now do what I was actually going to do, which is to go to AL61. And that isn't even a thing. Okay, so there isn't a birth index card for Alice, unless I can't count. But instead we can go to CC76. Okay, so that's all Cecil's sources identified.
Okay, let's see.
Although there's still open links in his stuff, because I guess there are other things that are not his writing. I'm writing this early because I'm getting weaker. I feel myself slipping. My mind has always been my rock. I feel vertigo. At first I thought a book had poison on the pages, as in the Tale of Duban from AG04 and AD45 too. But no, it is more serious than that. I know from my research that words create a potential which can be realized. That is why the books in the archive are destroyed as they are ingested. That's why this machine must be kept secret. These books may be studied cautiously, yes, but they must not be closely observed. Okay, so he realizes that this is what happened to him. This leads to 2 books, I assume like actual literary works, but there's still a note from Cecil attached. How has it come to this? All for one man, whose mind I never respected anyway? It is the height of foolishness. The correct pattern for life was so plain for all to see. All I had to do was conform to it. Okay, so he was not... in the end, he had regrets. But yes, from here we can go to AG04. As the 1001 Nights, I have been unable to satisfy myself with exactly who wrote this book or when. It is infuriating indexing old books because they do not have authors, instead they seem to assemble themselves over time. How can one build on such quicksand? So I have indexed the 1001 Nights under the name and date of its European translator, despite this most definitely being incorrect. I find myself, like the Sultan himself, thoroughly dissatisfied by this article. So, yes, just one of an actual literary entries in this game. And then the second one is probably a similar thing, AD45. Queen Margot. A woman's strength lies not in her physical prowess, but in her ability to manipulate and strategize. Dumas' Queen Margot is full of villainy and plot of an assassination, poisoning about. It is a Rome, no more, no less. Beatrice adores it. And that just takes us to Beatrice's page. Yes, okay. Well, that's at least Cecil done in terms of his notes. He links to more. But then I'm like, well, Beatrice is here, but I only have the QM55, which isn't even her name, right? I do wonder if like Cecil was writing notes at specific times, like 49 is when they started to work on it, although there was also 43 saying that they were like doing stuff. Like would she be writing anything back then? Like, is there a BD-49 maybe? Because I'm not sure what else get the bits of information. Okay, we're going somewhere.
The Manchester boys are up to. I'd better not say that to Henry, I suppose.
Who's Henry? They keep mentioning him, right? There is Henry where it's like, oh, after what happened to Henry, and then she's like, I told the son that his father's Henry, and better not say it to Henry. I'm not quite sure who he's supposed to be, but yes, there is a BD-49. She wrote a note when they started working on it. I am writing this after hours. Cecil acts like this is his machine. Man, always compensating for what nature did not grant him. Wow. I mean, he was also like women who can build on such quicksand, so they're both having some issues. He thinks the machine will understand DME for him. Without a proper grounding in literature, absurd. Fish must swim in the sea. And she wrote an extra note. I have fed in OW90 as a gift. I will add more when I can. Okay. I assume that's another book. Ah, the picture of Dorian Gray. It is the curse of the age that the one thing that is worth living for is the thing that is more dangerous to the soul. Devastating. Okay, that's all she got to say about it. So on this machine code cards, the TR-49 still has a red dot, which I think is the same as the asterisk on people's pages, which is that there are still open links, right? With links we haven't found. So what is going on here? Yes, there is an open link. And it's textual reassociated 49, TR-49, also known as trap. And this is, of course, codes we used, right? The last source entered, that's where we went, archive, stuff like that. So the only other thing is the XX00, right? This was just like, this is the format, but I don't know, is it a code we can enter? Yes, it is. Completely missed this. That was an example. The code does not refer to any entry, except this one. So that's a paradox. Can the machine survive a paradox? If it can't, what chance will it have with DME? All hail to the honor of and glory of CC11 and Beatrice. Yes, okay, so that's where that goes, and now the dot is gone. So for all of those codes, we're good. We've explored. Yeah, I need to get the Rampage sorted. But I think that's what all there is then. Get the Rampage sorted and see whether this will resolve Silverton or is this still an extra bit. So I'm pretty sure it starts with 32 and ends with 42, right? Like, that's the whole span of the books. Yes, the final novel in Arklovich 10-year Rampage cycle. So it's 10-year cycle, but there are 6 novels. And we have 5 of them. So we're only missing 1, though we have to name them all. And we only have 5 of the titles as well. I don't know, because we have named 2 of them. But that makes it 7 titles. I'm confused. Oh no, it says previous 6 novels, so it's 7 together. Okay, that makes sense. We know this is the last book, and we know the book before that is called Alienation. So it's 32, 33, then it jumps to 37, 39, 42. So there is somewhere in between that, right? And actually it tells us that there must be a book between 39 and 42 because 39 is Asimov Ascending, not Alienation. So somewhere in 40 or 41, that's where the Alienation is. I assume from here we can just go for the years. And there isn't like a specific, oh, it was a year before or 2 years after. The 6 of Isambard Arklovich Rampage books follow quickly on the previous, suggesting frankly less editing than usual. I confess to being disappointed by the protagonist's endless introspection. The fiery pace of The Swordmoon is long gone. Okay, so that's one of the titles, but I think we already know it because it's not clickable. Meanwhile, the alien characters are becoming increasingly coded, in my view, as women. They are natural community builders, they consider the appearance, they nurture the young. The bafflement Arklovich gives this behavior is, quite honestly, somewhat embarrassing. Silverton is not mentioned. Whatever Arklovich feared, perhaps it is now too late. And another note from Cecil. I knew it. JS40 proves it. Okay, it's that this is Silverton. Okay. So, based on the previous one, this is supposed to be Rampage alienation, unless there is IA-41. No, there isn't. Okay, so this one should be alienation. Yes. Okay, that's another title.
You can't survive this, she screamed, the desperation in her voice the first honest sound he had heard from her. I can and will, he replied soberly, and you will love me for it. And then he raised the blade and struck.
So what else we got? We already know 32, 37, 42. So there is one more. Potentially between 33 and 37? What does it say in 37? Because we haven't named it, know nothing about it. Midpoint of the series. So yes, there is definitely another book between 33 and 37. Yes, 2 years later in Azimuth Ascending, which we already know about and we have titled. But with that in mind, therefore, there could be a maybe 35 book? Yes, there is. Part 3 is a subtle twist on the formula established so far, as Arthur and his knights, see IA-33, take to the stars to search for the Moon Sword, a reference, of course, to the same holy object as CE-32. And this will save humanity from itself. The life-giving grail is never found, in either scenario, but the discovery of a time portal in the wilds of Scotland sets up further entertainment for the second half of the series. The title is a reference to JS-31, I am sure. Okay, so some information about what this title might be. JS-31 is the Pen of Galileo, okay? And
All right then.
what do we have? Oh, we have the Glen of Galileo. Okay, that would make sense then. So that's the
The
reference.
Glen of Galileo.
And this is it?
The empty void stretched out before them like a midnight meadow. We ride until we can ride no longer, the king declared. And we find salvation or we find despair. The horses breathed into their glass helmets. Then, with a beat of a crop, they began to charge.
So we're putting it together. So there is the Sword Moon and the Moon Sword still to find or name. I guess we found everything, we just have to name it. Yes, they take to the stars to search for the Moon Sword. But I assume this is therefore a reference to something that's introduced in the book earlier. So maybe the first book is like the Moon Sword, because that's what they're looking for. But yes, let's check out the links, right? What's CE-32? Oh, it's the Erst Whistle. Okay, we've seen it, so it's not something new. So we have 33 is already named, Rampage Swords in the Dark, right? So I'm wondering whether 32 is the one with the Moon Sword there, because like that sounds like that would be the setup for the series, right? They're looking for the Moon Sword and then great adventures occur. So if we go to 32, he finds a spaceship and he sets off to the moon. So is this one... I mean, weirdly, there is the Sword Moon and the Moon Sword. But if they're looking for the Moon Sword, maybe it starts with this?
The Moon Sword?
Okay, she doesn't seem so convinced. So it's not. I mean, we have 3 codes and we have 3 books. So can we work out what's going on here? Because it's also, I don't think it's called Rampage. I think it's tried that before. What's in the other books? Because then 37 is not titled. I mean, this once again would have been helped if I had the exact info where I found those titles, right? Because it may be somewhere where then it's linked to it. So if we go to 32, what links to it? Only 33. But 33 only talks about the Glen of Galileo, which is the next book. And then 37, what's that linked to? So this one is linked to 39 because that says, oh yeah, Azimuth Ascending is the later book. And then in 42, okay, but that then leads back to 32 because it's supposed to be a reflection on the original novel. So actually, if that's the case, are the first and last novels using the Sword Moon and the Moon Sword titles? Maybe that's what it's trying to tell us, right? Well, I've already found out that the 32 is not the Moon Sword, so is 32 the Sword Moon, and therefore leaving this 42 book to be the Moon Sword?
The Moon Sword?
Yes, okay. That should unscramble.
He stood on the brink of the cliff, and of something else. He was a man, yes, but now more than a man. From his back, the long, articulated extra limb coiled up around his head. He heard her laugh, once, and then he jumped, falling and rising, both and all at once.
Okay, he grew an extra arm somehow at the end. Okay, so if we then go to 32, the first book, shall this one be the Sword
The Sword
Moon?
I bring you a message, which crooned, trailing long fingernails around his nipples. It is a message of terror and destiny. Then tell me, he said, I am not afraid. But in truth, he was.
And that just leaves us, hopefully, with 37 being Rampage. So it was a Rampage series, but only like the middle book is called Rampage.
Rampage!
So that's all his sources.
The war goes badly, oh, Sir Galahad, the lady cried. But by your arm and your valour it may yet be won. Nothing lost is won, the knight replied, stoic as a stone. But everything won was uncertain for a time. So true, the lady replied, with the patience of a star.
So that's him done. But that did not complete Silverton, which means we're missing something from him, like actually from him. They're not linked. So what could that be? There's of course open links in his work, so that's where we should probably start looking. So this is one of the letters he was writing to Mayflower, later Kenrick, the woman at the center of it all. So the only kind of extra reference here is that he was dead 5 years later. So there might be something on 42. Do we have 42? We do not. We have 40 that's also missing a link. Okay, so here in JS40 it says Silverton died 3 years later. So he died 42 or 43. Well, let's check it out then. Anything in 42? No. Anything in 43?
Cause of death, mental deterioration.
There we go. This archive is no place for a death certificate, but this one is striking. I felt the machine needed to see it. This is what Le Marchand would call a revision. I am certain of it. A consequential reality? This word is scrambled, so I'm like, or is it actually consequentient? I'm not sure that's a word. The quantum conceptual is natures and the pen of Galileo if you doubt me. Okay, but yes, that completes JS as well. So now that's all of the authors done, but it's not every single writing, right? It's not every single writing in this game because there's also all of the stuff I said if we go in the credits. Okay, so once it gets to this additional writing, right, it gives us people's handles or websites, and they all come with codes, right? I presume all of this is available in the game. Obviously, it's not like important to the main story, the main investigation, but I assume we can read that stuff. But I'm not sure how long would this video be if I now went through and recorded every single one of those. So I may just pick one like the AB82, right? Because it's just right next to Abbi's code. We could basically mistype and get into it and see if it goes anywhere. And then there is also the other stuff here, which are just authors of actual books that were included here. So we have Tolkien here, Emily Bronte, George Orwell, all the various well-known writers name, Agatha Christie, and God. God was here, and Jane Austen, of course. So, yes, those are additional things we can look at. So, AB82, it does go somewhere, which means all of those things are things. Aaron Bowes, Joanna finds Lily, And it does have text. The weed grows at the rate of over a foot per minute, ensnaring everything it touches. It starves all other plant life, but luckily can itself be consumed as food. Our technology has been completely crippled. We are reduced from our once great spacefaring civilization into regressive tribes. I have a plan. If I can liberate a worthy craft from the old museum, kept safe behind the exhibition glass, well, then I can travel to a planet known as Wheat Prime, and using the Seafold engine journey into the past and prevent this foul flora from ever being found. Okay, so this is relevant because of time traveling and preventing things. Persistently worthwhile. I was thinking of KC62 throughout it. Okay, so Alice wrote about it, and that goes to KC62. Livestock, a practical guide. Does livestock, a practical guide, belong here? Little Alice enjoyed the pictures. Cow, donkey, chicken, so much. Maybe Abbi will like them too. Okay, they just left it as a treat for us. Preserved for posterity while my daughter grows and changes every day. Little Alice, I have such big dreams for you, my daughters. Dreams as big as this world. And there's a note from Beatrice. And there was me thinking Cecil had never read a book on parenting. Okay, so yes. Basically, using the credits, we can go on a whole literary journey. Still, there might be some funny books, there might be some serious books. But I think, like, I've done everything I needed to do, right? I've completed what I think is all the endings. I've been through the maze. I've got every author that is actually given a card in the game filled up. So I think this will be it for this series. Unless someone's about to tell me that there's like a whole other story adventure in those extra writing, then I think I'm done. I think it's been an interesting experience. Like, I already had a whole talk about how some things about the game were interesting and some choices that they made about it were a bit weird with the insistent dialogue. But overall, I had fun with it, right? I like those sort of research games where you read things and you draw conclusions and try to do things with the information. So I hope you enjoyed this too. I hope this satisfied your curiosity about what else was in this game. And if you enjoyed that one, consider liking or subscribing. Thank you to channel members for supporting the channel. And I will see you soon on another adventure.